Everybody, it's Hussein Kabani, your favorite broker, and guess what? We're back with another market update. Everyone is saying prices are going to go higher, higher, higher. They just came down. I'm not talking across all categories, but in general, we've seen a bit of a price decrease now in the GTA. What we saw is that the detached condo townhouses and the townhouses, they all had a bit of a decrease overall in the GTA. The other thing we'll notice is that in Toronto, we still saw a decrease in detached homes and condo townhomes. Other stuff did go up, but it was just not huge, okay? Again, if we look at Pickering completely across the board in all categories, we saw a small price decline. It wasn't huge, but there was a price decline. One thing to notice, guys, is that the MOI is basically months on hand, like months on hand of inventory. So this basically tells us how many months of inventory we have if we never had another listing in this category show up. So if you look at it, all of the months of inventory have increased as well. So this is basically telling us that we actually have more inventory. So this could have been one of the reasons why we saw a bit of a slight decrease in pricing. Now, even though we saw a bit of a decrease in pricing, I'm trying to predict out forward and say, hey, are we going to see a similar kind of thing for May? It's hard to do because we're basically May 12th right now. The best data I can get so far is around May 11th, and it's hard to get into all the different regions. So I just ran for mine in Pickering. And what I'm seeing right now is that we've seen some increase in average prices in the semi-detached and the condo townhouses and the townhouses. But what we've seen is we've seen a bit of a decrease in average price in the detached homes and the condo apartments. It hasn't been much in either direction yet, but it's really early to tell because I'm shooting this May 12th and we got May 11th data right now. So if we see another decrease overall in May, then I think it's going to be more of a warning sign. It may or may not happen because when we look at it, we're always going to look at the inventory that plays around with it. And I'll get back to that in a second. I just want to let you guys know, even though that we are looking at a bit of a decrease from March to April numbers, if we look at it over a year over year, in Pickering, for example, we're up. And I mean like way up if we look at 2020 versus 2021. So just to quickly recap it, in Pickering, detached homes are up almost 48% on average sell price. Semi-detached is up 40%. Condo townhouses are up 25.6%. Condo apartments are up 7.5% or 7.7%. And freehold townhouses are up 20%. So year over year, it's still a very, very strong number, even though that April recorded a bit of a decline compared to January, February, and March. Now, that being said, and skipping back to inventory a little bit, as you guys probably know by now, I keep a tab of inventory like on a daily basis. I miss some days, but for the most part, I note the inventory every morning. And what I've noticed is this. So if we looked at inventory levels from March 12th to April 12th, what we saw is that we saw the increase that we are seeing on the other chart as well. So overall, Toronto Real Estate Board inventory went up almost 1,800 listings. Durham went up 125. The other suburbs were up, including Toronto as well overall. But if I look at the numbers again, and if I look at the numbers from April 12th to May 12th, okay, I'm actually seeing a decrease in inventory in the suburbs. So overall, the inventory is still up by 250 or 246 units. But if I look at Durham is down 184, Halton is down 47, Peel is down 93, York Region overall is down 15 listings. But when we look at Toronto is up overall in number of listings. So freehold listings, which is surprising, you would think that their freehold is actually less or even, but their freehold listings are up by 254 units and condos are up by 331 units. Now, it's not always crystal clear, but like whenever we see the core of it start to make changes, and I've noticed the condo inventory building up over the last few days and few weeks now. So when we start to see the core change, then we start to see the changes kind of occur coming outwards as well. So it's something to keep an eye on. So as soon as I saw the condo inventory in Toronto spike, I knew that we were going to be looking at a bit of a difference in the market already. So where do we go from here? That's probably everyone's question. So we saw a decline. Is this going to be, the crash that some people have been talking about? Are we going to continue to go up in price? Guys, it's really, really, really hard to tell right now. There's still too many factors affecting it. But as I've been saying in my other videos, it doesn't really make sense when you look at it from an economic perspective, right? So again, we're still in a global pandemic, and we really haven't had economic growth. You know, my problem with this whole situation is that, to put it in a nutshell, I feel like the government has falsely propped up the economy by printing money and distributing it to people so they will stimulate the economy. So for me, it just looks like it's falsely propped up, and this is really going to cause inflation. Again, if you watch my previous videos, I'm not 100% familiar with how this whole concept works, but I'm looking into it, I'm researching into it, and the more I look into it, when you look at financial experts, they're screaming inflation. So if we look at what Ray Dalio is saying, what Warren Buffett is saying, what these guys are saying about inflation, it just definitely seems like something that is going to come around and bite us in the ass if we're not really being careful with what we're doing right now. And that leads me to also talk to people about, the common question I've been getting right now is that how do people actually qualify for properties right now? So a couple of the examples I can give you, well, one very solid example I can give you is we have clients that will sell a place for $800,000 and buy for $1.1 million. And it's really difficult. So they've seen some appreciation on their property. They're going to be putting down 20, 25%, but overall their mortgage is still going to be higher than what they're paying right now. And they're qualifying based on a lower interest rate. And that interest rate, the way that they're going to start to calculate or want to start calculating it by adding in that premium on the interest rate, that hasn't kicked in yet. So people are qualifying on lower interest rates right now, so they're able to afford more. And also what's happening is that they're going to their max. So, if they have a certain debt service ratio, they're kind of right on that number, like it's very borderline. And it always leads me to wonder, you're going to take on a bigger mortgage. Has your income actually gone up that much? And how secure do you think your job is to make a change like this in this type of a market? So guys, I know I cover a lot of, information about Pickering, but if you guys want to know something specifically about your neighborhood, your community, feel free to leave me a comment or send me a message. I'll be glad to look it up and shoot you guys over some quick information. I need you guys to do me a favor, share this video, like this, comment on it. Let me know what you guys think. I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, guys, remember one thing: get Cabani, get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.